Like, how did you go on with the idea? Yeah, let's start with Nattu.
Okay.
Go for it, Shafiu.
All right. Thank you, Nattu. In the case of Thakurwas, I think when we actually started out, there was this fear. I think every founder has this fear of like not being able to complete or deliver on promises. So the first thing was to get started somewhere and then find a good team to sort of get the whole idea moving, because sometimes an idea is just too big to move by yourself. So you need a good team as well. And then slowly, I think Thakurwas was focused more on the local side than global side, which was a mistake that we made while making the game itself. A lot of the things that we developed for the game were actually focused on just working locally, and that was a huge setback for us, and we are still trying to fix it, reworking some of the game's modules and everything to have it be able to work globally. Because I think when you compare the reach, Maldives is comparatively less in population than compared to some of the global countries out there. And I think that's one of the greatest decisions that we have taken this year, moving the game into the global space with in-app purchases and removing all the, not removing, I think sort of mixing a Maldivian style along with something that a global audience would enjoy as well. So not fully Divehi and something that's foreign to people, a mix in between. So I think that's the case of Thakurwas, yeah.
Cool. I would just share the experience of getting an idea and then trying to kind of build on top of it. For my case, I was familiar with the lean startup and few methodologies around just getting an idea and then start exploring it without actually thinking that, hey, this is the thing that I want to go and do in the future. I never imagined that being a part of a startup or a company around motion design, I never in my life ever imagined and thought that I would end up actually doing it. So this wasn't more like, hey, my passion is to go and create a company around motion design. It was more about, can I embrace this journey and start exploring and see how far I can go and how far I can actually learn. Before Lottie, of course, I stumbled upon a few of other ideas and then got tons of learnings, running companies, building products, and a lot of times, of course, we envision, and in my case, like so big that go and build apps and websites for the people, products for the people, and most of the times it ends up not being used at all, or not to that potential that we actually imagine. So when Lottie first came in, it was more about solving the problem that we had at home, or at the work that I was in. One example being, if you actually open an app, you get this experience of, let's say, if nothing is moving in there, it's a very static kind of an experience where in our life, everything is moving. Now, all of a sudden you open an app and then everything is very, very still. The way to bring emotion is really, really hard into either a mobile app or a web in a way that it is acceptable. It is fun, it is light, it is high quality. And I'm pretty sure Eedham and Shafiu would agree that these are like really, really hard challenges as well. So while Lottie was an open source project that was contributed by Airbnb and then a few folks before that, but just like any other open source project, when you try to use it, you will find a lot of gaps. So Lottie first was filling those gaps. Never in our wildest dreams thought that Lottie first will one day become a company. But because we were solving a lot of problems and challenges that we face while using or bringing this motion to the products, and then we implemented those solutions in lorryfirst.com. We ended up getting a huge community, like one by one. It just went on increasing. And the moment when we decided this is going to be a company, we already had sort of validation from the community. We already had the traction from the community. We already had thousands of people contributing just free to use animations, full on, so that other people can find and start using the whole new file format that they feel like magical, again, 600 times smaller than a normal GIF. And this was kind of a new, I would say, evolution in design, which was enabling people to use motion. So that was, I would say, my journey. To cut it short, it was just building upon a small, tiny idea day after day, not focusing that this will be my full-time thing. For about 1.5 years, almost 2 years, I did Lottie as a weekend thing. And if you go to Facebook, there's again post saying, oh, our weekend project got 1,000 downloads, 2,000 downloads, 5,000 downloads, today 6 million, 7 million, right? So celebrated each and every step of the way to actually see and grow what it is for today. It's been 5 years since then. So that is sort of a journey. I would cut it short for now.
Yes, thank you. That's amazing. Both Shafiu and Nattu, how you, that one day you get this idea, or you find really a problem that a lot of people have, that when it encounters you, you didn't leave it. You started building on it, and then everything has changed. So we are talking about very different startups today. One is game development, the other is on to VR and augmented reality, and the other is around motion. I really wanted to know, I'm very curious, how do you find people to work with you? How do you structure your teams for this? We can start with Eedham, right? Eedham?
I think the main one is luck, right? To encounter people who comes on board with your idea. And the second thing is like truly loving your team, I think, and ensuring that, you know, if anybody is down, you are able to be in a position to, you know, lift them. And that way, I think if you don't, we have not really focused on qualifications or anything like that. It's more of people who are on board with the idea and the vision itself, which I believe everybody shares in our team, including Nisha. And I think from the product development side and the technology side led by Shamil, content development side, business development side led by our internal unit, and the teachers who are involved in the project and the educators who are involved in the project, they really believe in this. And then there is a saying that I like to actually press upon is, somebody who does not give up will succeed, right? So no matter how tough it gets, if you just don't give up on it, you will succeed. And why would you not give up? It's because you truly believe in what you're doing. It doesn't really matter the challenges that come in the way. We truly believe what we are trying to achieve, while being very aware that we are not where we want to be at any point of time. Next year, we will reach certain milestones, and then again, we'll see new things that can be done. And again, we will extend the capability. But then that kind of mentality and mindset and complete trust on each other, if you can achieve that trust, I feel like a lot of things will come into place, right? And not necessarily the people who come will know everything. They will learn through the way. And I feel like from leadership all the way down, if you don't penalize people, you're not rude to people, you are appreciative of people who are trying to actually work on the collective goal that everybody is trying to achieve, they will stick together. And that does not mean that there will not be people who come in and go out, but still, if that respect and trust can be built among people, it will be very difficult to actually break up your team. And I think that's the philosophy in keeping the team together, I feel. But finding the people in the Maldives is, I think, the salt water here or the weather, people are very creative. I do not know. I mean, nobody would have imagined, games being developed, Lottie files coming up. I think it's something to do with the Maldivian genes, whereby 500,000 people, and we are like a block in Mumbai, but yet so many creative people are in this small place. So that's luck on our side, I believe. And we don't have any other nationality in our team apart from Maldivians. We have a Australian and a Sri Lankan. But apart from that, it's all Maldivians who are doing this. And they really rise up to the occasion, I feel, if the chance is given. And yeah, patience, luck, trust, and respect, and I think people will join your vision. That's all, you know.
Thank you, Eedham. I thought it was more, you have added a new ingredient. I thought it was more onto tuna, but you are mentioning.
I think Rihaku and tuna plays a role. Maybe, we have to do a research. We'll get to that after we, reach certain milestones,
Yes,
maybe seriously
eventually.
we'll do a
Yeah,
research.
eventually we might come up with the startup based on that Rihakuru and tuna as well.
Yes, absolutely.
Right. Yes, it's very nice to know that you have like Maldivian team, and I think Maldivian startup founders or the people with ideas would love to know later on more about how you keep up a Maldivian team together. Anyways, let's head to Shafiu. Yes, how do you carry on with the team? Where do you find the people?
Finding people is quite hard for the industry I am at the moment in, because anyone who has done game development or anything is probably doing a job or serving a career somewhere other than Maldives, because there's not a lot of job opportunities here in Maldives other than freelancing, which comes with several changes. And for us to hire people, we need to sort of, we can't just do the probation period only. We need to sort of teach everyone we bring on board. So I think it's hard, but we find people like with a lot of passion into game development and the 3D industry in Maldives. And it's just meeting up with them and sort of connecting, and then seeing whether they connect with the team properly. And I think communication is the most important part of like getting people in any business. That's at least my belief is you need to communicate properly in order to get things done, or you need to have a really close bond with the team that you work on. It's not just your employees, it's like a small family when you're a startup. So you help one another like learn new things and move on to the next stage. So for us, getting people is just going to a lot of coffees and getting to know the person before actually bringing them on board, and sort of teaching them how everything works. And the other thing is that our whole pipeline is around Unreal Engine, which